So as you may or may not know, self-tapes have become commonplace for first round auditions, and that includes professional auditions and drama school auditions. It was actually like one really good thing that came out of the pandemic. Every first round audition, as standard pretty much now, is a self-tape. But with that in mind, we actually need to make sure that we are putting, as actors, our best foot forward and submitting tapes that are high quality. Tapes that fulfill the brief and get you closer to landing that job or getting that place at the school. But there are some things that actors do time and time again that are just massive no-nos. Things that make it extremely difficult for the audition panel to make an informed decision about their ability and about their work because the tape is shit. So I thought I would make an entire video on all of the things that I think you should really bear in mind and avoid completely when it comes to doing self-tape auditions. Now then, if you are brand new to self-taping, or if you haven't done one in a while, or you want to refresh and kind of sharpen your skills, then you're in luck, because I am running a 6-week self-tape like a pro course. Now this is going to be a group online training where we will meet once a week. You will be assigned a task for that week to submit a self-tape, and then we will spend that session reviewing the footage, discussing it amongst ourselves, giving feedback, answering any questions, and talking through the struggles and challenges that you went through that week with that self-tape. And you'll explore loads of different scripts and loads of different things that you need to actually address when it comes to self-taping, and I will be there every step of the way giving you advice and guidance based on my year's worth of expertise as both a camera assistant behind the camera and as an actor in front of it, as well as a teacher who's taught in drama schools for a number of years. Sound good? Well then, all of the details are in the description below. If this is something that you want to do, then make sure to sign up. The earlier that you sign up, the cheaper it will be. The later you sign up, it will be slightly more expensive. So check it out below and get in touch if you've got any questions or queries. The course will be officially launching on Wednesday the 28th of June, which is not far away at all. So make sure to get signed up as soon as you can and grab yourself one of the limited spaces. Along with the course, you actually get a free instructional ebook by yours truly, with all of the things that I advise my own coaching clients to do, as well as the things that I do as a professional actor to self-tape. It will be a fantastic guide for you to actually help you get through every single one of the tasks and all of your self-tapes going forward. So again, get signed up. Description below. Do the thing. So with all of that said, let's take a look at the top self-tape no-nos that you need to be aware of to avoid. Number 1, bad audio. Now this is a really big one for me. I've sat on drama school audition panels and watched first round self-tape auditions, and the amount of people that are submitting tapes where you just cannot hear them properly, where the audio is crackly, or you've got the sound of a bus or a plane going past and it's crashing together with all of the dialogue and we can't hear what you're saying. Basically, if you're not being heard properly, then you cannot connect to the audience. They don't understand what you're saying, and if we don't understand what you're saying, then we can't make an informed decision about your ability and whether you are suitable for the job or whether you are suitable to train. So I always recommend that you do a test prior to actually doing a take. Just a couple of seconds just to check the audio, check whether your microphone is working or if any ambient sound is being picked up, because there is nothing worse than going for a really long take of the script that you're doing or the monologue that you're auditioning with, getting all the way to the end, smashing that take and thinking, oh my god, that was amazing, to only then listen back to the audio and realize that we can't understand a word you're saying. So always do a check beforehand. And bonus points to the people that actually check back their footage by plugging in some headphones, because if you're just playing back the audio without headphones, then you're playing it in the environment that might actually have that bad audio with it, so you might not pick up on it properly. By plugging in some headphones, you isolate the sound. You're only hearing what is being picked up on the microphone. And also, shoot things away from a window, away from things that you can pick up traffic and pick up the sound of people speaking outside. Minimize the sound as best you can so that we get nice, crisp, clean audio. Number 2, bad lighting. Much like with audio, if we can't see you properly, then we cease to be able to connect to you and we cease to be able to make an informed decision about whether you are good or not good. And also, especially if you're auditioning professionally, part of the gig is what you look like. So if you are shooting in light that is really unfavorable and really not flattering, then that's not going to work in your favor. Things like having really harsh overhead lighting or harsh shadows on your face never do you any favors. You also need to make sure that you are not underexposed or overexposed. We want you nice and evenly lit so that we can see everything that is going on. It looks fairly flattering for you and it shows you in a favorable light, quite literally. in a favorable light. Now, this is actually something that we go into detail about in the self-tape course, how to light yourself properly. So if this is something that you find that you struggle with when it comes to self-tape auditions and you're just like, oh, I can't make myself look good on screen with the lights, then make sure to sign up below, because that is a whole section that took me a while to wrap my head around. And once you do, oh my God, you're just gonna go from 0 to 60 in terms of your self-tapes. So definitely sign up for that. Number 3, being either too animated or too muted in your performance. Now, regardless of whether you are self-taping for a theatre production or for a screen production, the medium that you are actually auditioning through is screen. So you need to be able to actually kind of cater your approach in accordance with that. Now, if you were over the top or too animated in your performance, then it comes across as untruthful and slightly pantomime. We don't believe you, we cease to connect to you, we don't get a sense that you are suitable for the job. And then if you are too muted, i.e. there is nothing going on behind the eyes, there's no movement, there's no energy, there's nothing, then your panel is going to just switch off and think, well, that was just a waste of time, that was just a waste of a self-tape. They weren't making any creative choices, it didn't cost them anything, and it just won't work in your favor. What I would encourage you to do is practice. Get used to working in this medium and reviewing your footage. Because if you're not used to doing this, then you want to do a kind of pendulum swing, going way, way, way too extreme, going too animated, and then do another take that you are too muted. And then as you shoot those again and again and again, eventually you're going to find a happy medium. But make sure to actually practice away from having to do a real self-tape. Put that practice in before it actually matters, so that when you actually get a self-tape through, you can hit the ground running with it. And the good thing about the self-tape course is the fact that we are going to be reviewing footage each and every week, so that we can actually objectively look at the performance and figure out, okay, this moment's really, really working, this moment isn't so much, and this is why. We get to deconstruct the performance so that you get to find that happy medium, that sweet spot in between being too animated and being too muted. We find that together collectively. So again, if that's interesting to you, description below and sign up. Number 4, your tape not being edited well. Now look, we are not looking for high cinematic quality when it comes to self-tapes. However, if there is just a big kind of 10 or 15 seconds at the beginning and at the end of your tape where you are pressing the record button and faffing around and getting ready, then what that does is it shatters the illusion of the performance. And especially if it's a professional audition that you're going for, you want to be as polished as possible. So just by clipping off the beginning and the end of the tape and actually editing everything together in a nice, neat way, it's very professionally put forward, and it will show you in a much more favorable light to the casting director or to the audition panel. Now, the edit won't make or break whether you do or do not get a job, but it just shows a certain level of professionalism above people that just aren't putting that effort in. We want to be able to begin the take with you in character, living in that moment within the script, as opposed to you, the actor, faffing about, getting yourself ready, settling, and then becoming the character. We don't want to see all of the behind the scenes stuff. We just want to see you hit the ground running in terms of your performance. Number 5, not renaming your tape. So oftentimes when you export a tape to your laptop and you're getting ready to actually send it off, the tape itself will give itself its own little name, and it will usually just be a jumble of letters and numbers. Now, depending the project that you're going up for or the school that you're auditioning for, if the people that are auditioning you are going to be downloading that footage, then that is the name that is going to be there. And if they're auditioning lots of different people, it is going to be really difficult for them to locate very specific tapes along the way. The best thing that you could do is actually rename your tape. Put your name, the character's name, the project that you're going for. Make it as easy as possible for the casting director or the audition panel to actually locate your material. Because again, it won't make or break whether you do or do not get a job. It just makes it easier for them to actually make an informed decision. It's neat, it's tidy, it's professional. And number 6, that your file is too large. Now, most people these days are shooting their self-tapes on their phones, quite rightly, because it's the most accessible, easiest to use device out there for self-taping, especially at short notice. And a lot of the time, the phones actually have the capability of shooting in 4K. It means that the quality of the picture is fantastic, we can see your face, we can see what you're doing, and nothing's pixelated. grand. Now, depending on how many scenes you're actually auditioning with, the length of the actual tape itself, the file size starts to ramp up and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And again, depending on how you're sending this tape across to the people that are auditioning you, if they are downloading it and they're downloading a file that is so big and clogs up their laptop or their hard drive, and they're doing that for multiple different people, it becomes a really arduous task, really inconvenient for them. So what I would recommend doing is making sure that your file size is small but still has the quality in it. Now, if you're not overly technically minded, much like myself, it's a bit of a learning curve kind of figuring all of this stuff out, then we do explore it in the self-tape course. So if you're kind of like, but what is a gigabyte? Then make sure to sign up for the course and we go through the whole shebang. So there we go. They are my top no-nos when it comes to self-taping. They're the things to avoid if you want your audition panel to like you. Now, if there are any things that I had missed out from that list, then make sure to put them in the comments below. I'd love to discuss it with you further. And again, one final little plug, if you are interested in learning more about self-taping, whether you are brand new to it or whether you're looking to up-level your skills or just keep them sharp in between jobs, sign up for that self-tape course. We're going to be launching Wednesday, the 28th of June. But in the meantime, make sure that you subscribe and you like this video and you tell loads of people about it, all of your actor friends, so that we can actually get as many people self-taping to a really high standard as possible. But until next time, thank you so much. Bye.